How you feeling?
Headache.
You have a headache? Well, here's some medication. How you feeling now?
It's just the same.
It's the same. Let me show you why. Okay, let's talk about why that medication didn't work right away as soon as I gave it. Well, our body needs to metabolize that medication. So in this particular case, the acetaminophen started here in the stomach. And the stomach needs to digest it, same with the small intestine. And after it digests it and accumulates it, it's going to go to the liver to go through what we call first pass metabolism. And once it goes through first pass metabolism inside the liver, it's going to finally end up into central circulation. And it needs to end up in central circulation before it starts to create its effect by getting rid of that headache. And so what we need to do is that we need to give that medication here, and this graph is going to represent concentrations of the medication and the time it takes for it to kind of deplete. So we give the medication here, and it takes time to finally generate enough concentration inside the blood in order to create an effect. And that means that we need to elevate our concentrations enough to get above this line here, which is considered our onset of action line. So the concentrations are enough inside the blood to start getting rid of that headache. So let's say that headache's a 10 out of 10. Now, because we've gotten above that onset of action line, it's now more like an 8 out of 10. But our body is going to continue to metabolize all that medication that we gave it. And it's going to continue to go through the liver and start to increase the concentrations inside the blood. And so it's going to continue to go up and up and up in order to finally, again, get to peak concentrations. And so once we get to the point where we've given all this medication and we've metabolized it all, we've put it all inside inside the blood, then we reach to the point where we're no longer able to add more concentration. So that particular point right here is considered our peak because we can no longer add more concentration, giving us more effect. And so our body, during a second that we give that medication inside and it enters the stomach, the second we do that, we're trying to metabolize it and biotransform it to break it down so that way we can eliminate it either through the kidneys or breath or whatever the case may be. And so we're also trying to eliminate it at the same time. And so our body is now going to go into a decline of concentration. So even though right here we may have had a 0 out of 10 headache at its peak, now if we don't redose that medication, our concentrations are going to continue to decline below that onset of action line, and we're going to be back where we started with a 10 out of 10 headache. So that is how peak, onset, and duration work, where it's all talking about getting the concentrations of medications above this onset of action line. That's your onset. Your peak is when we hit the peak concentrations, and the duration is how long we have this medication above that onset of action line before it's completely depleted and we no longer have any concentration that's going to be used. That is how that works.
If you love our videos here, then you're gonna love our illustrated notes. It's chock full of things like cheat sheets, anatomy, physiology, and literally everything in between that you can imagine. This is 21 pages long, and it's chock full of really cool illustrated notes for you. If you would love this package, all you need to do is hit the link in our bio and download them from there.